told me it was going to be a complicated brick job and with some stonework in it. And when I first got here, we were only doing block inside with a couple guys. And then we had to build the sample panel outside. As soon as we started building that sample panel, I realized what I was getting myself into. It was very different than what we have done before. Just the piers going up the side of the building, we call them piers. It's 2 bricks stacked up, tying them in and bringing them up. And then the way the top of the building, it kind of just ends. Usually there's a band, we call it a band, something that would cap everything off. The brick, the color of the brick are unique. It's in all the different styles. It's a new look.
You're dealing with standard size brick, which are with a running bond brick. You're dealing with the soldier brick, which is, it's actually the same brick but laid up on its side, which is clarified as a soldier. And you also have the sill brick. They're a sloped shaped brick, which are underneath all the windows.
It's harder than what we're used to. Typically we lay them what we would call on the flat. So you pull a line across and the whole face of the brick is flush with the line. Now by turning them, you have a little different with the end joints and making sure everything's going to line up right. But at the beginning it was tricky. But the guys over time, they get it, they figure it out. You know, along the way they'll make suggestions, some of their suggestions for lining them up and marking them out on the top. It all comes together and eventually you get rolling.
We'd run a line through to make sure that the size of the joint and as it runs in each direction is uniformed. So without having any experience with doing this design in the past, we kind of had to go at it slowly at first to make sure at the end of the day that the quality workmanship was always there.
They're put in at a 30-degree angle to the face of wall. So what we've come up with is whenever we get to a soldier course, we made up a jig out of a piece of plywood and we gave one to each bricklayer. It has a 30-degree angle put on it already. And they'll use that on top of the wall to make sure they're staying with the 30-degree angle. And right before we start laying them, whenever we start a section, the first one we mark out on top of the brick below, which we call the sill or a band course. We mark out where each one should end, the corner of each brick. That way they stay uniform. Now when you do the second course, it just splits those. So it lines up centered on the ones below. It's not their comfort zone, but over time, and it doesn't take a long time, they find it. They find their comfort zone. They put them in, it becomes, you're used to it, you know, you figured it out. It's a little bit of a puzzle at the beginning, and then once they figure it out, off they go. When you pick up mortar with your trowel, when you're laying one brick on the flat, you get a feel for how much mortar you need to lay that brick. When you're putting these on an angle, it's a little less mortar. In a matter of 3 or 4 brick, they know how much to pick up, to lay. So it's not a big blob of mortar there and a lot of extra. You get a feel. It's all in feel. So once we establish a system, then all the guys get on we call it getting on the same page, where they're all going to do the same thing. So no one guy's work looks different than the next guy's. They all try to use the same system. They get it. They're craftsmen. They're very good at what they do.
The challenge is heights. It's all about heights and finding the face of wall. And as far as installing the stone itself, you know, we're installing those pieces with a crane. You know, we strap them from the ground, fly them up with the crane, drop them in place, put them on the relieving iron, put the clips to them, release the crane, and send down for the next piece. Parts and pieces are always moving around. You know, whether it's we're moving staging plank, we're moving the foot plank to move the work up to a certain level, or if there are people that are stocking the material or receiving the material, and having the bricklayers having their back to all that work that's going on behind them, they have to trust the guys that they work with, that they know that they're watching out for them while they're trying to do their task with their backs turned, trying to, you know, facing the wall.
It's a team effort. We all got to work together to get it done. And you learn to rely on each other. You can tell when you walk into an area, they're all getting along. They might be laughing and joking, but they're all working. There's no fighting, there's no arguing, there's no yelling and screaming. So it's a combination of everything coming together to make the whole process work. It's not what you think Boston, you know. When we see Boston, we see a lot of red brick, arches, some corbelling out with the brickwork, a little bit of in and out. Something like this you might see sometimes at a main entrance of a building. I haven't even seen it, but for us to do so much of it. When you stand back and look at it from the street, every night when we're walking out, there's three of us that kind of look up and say, geez, I wonder if that's, you know, what it's going to look like at the end. And people just walking by have commented saying, you know, how nice it is and how much they hope it brings to the neighborhood, things like that.
As my kids and my nephews, my nieces get older and they have a better understanding of how much heart and soul that we put into this and what we talk about at Christmas and what we talk about at Thanksgiving, and you know, it never leaves us.
This is going to be one of those that you're going to drive by and you're going to say, wow, we did that. So it's something I'm pretty sure we'll all be proud of at the end.